Okay, guys, here we go. Becoming Muhammad Ali, round 8. A boxer needs a ton of confidence, way more than normal people. How else could you step into a ring wearing nothing but shorts, shoes, and gloves, knowing the guy in the other corner would try like the devil to knock you out? Without confidence, you'd probably just turn around and run. I know I would. Confidence is hard to understand, hard to find, hard to master. There's one thing Cassius was totally confident about. He knew that boxing was the fastest way for a kid like him to become famous. So he made boxing his whole focus. Cassius was getting bigger and stronger, enough to play football or baseball or basketball. He probably would have won varsity letters in all three, but he focused on one thing and one thing only. Boxing was his way up and his way out. He just knew it. Month after month, I sat against the wall at Columbia Gym and did my homework while Cassius worked out. He was learning how to use his long arms and his quick feet, and I could see his confidence growing. Punch and move away, pull back instead of duck, stay out of the opponent's reach, move fast, hit hard, stay pretty. Even with all his skills, practice, and focus, sometimes Cassius got knocked down. When it happened, he got madder at himself than at his opponent. But he knew that getting knocked down wasn't the worst thing. It's staying down that's wrong, he told me. Cassius knew that it would be best if he had learned from the best, no matter what it took. When we were in high school, the boxer Willie Pastrano came to town with his trainer, Angelo Dundee. Willie was a pro from New Orleans, and he had one of the most powerful left hands anybody had ever seen. I'll never know how, but Cassius found out which hotel Willie was staying at. He dragged me and Rudy downtown and led us right through the hotel lobby. Then he picked up a hotel phone and called Willie's room. I couldn't hear the other end of the conversation, only what Cassius said. After all these years, I can still recite it from memory. My name's Cassius Marcellus Clay. I'm the Golden Gloves champion of Louisville, Kentucky. I'm going to win the National Golden Globes, then the Olympics one day, and I want to talk to you. It must have sounded like a prank call. I figured whoever was on the other end of the phone would just hang up. Instead, Cassius listened, put down the phone, walked across the lobby, pressed the elevator button. As the elevator doors closed, he just smiled at us and said, "Wait here." We waited for 3 hours. When Cassius came back downstairs, it was like he had been pumped full of boxing juice all the way home. He wouldn't stop talking about Pastrano and Dundee, about what Pastrano and Dundee had told him, about how a boxer should train, what to eat, how far to run, how much to hit the bag. It was a crash course in success, and Cassius soaked it up, every word. Mr. Dundee said I was a student of boxing, said Cassius. On that day, I saw his confidence glowing. Some people say the opposite of confidence is fear. Not me. I say it's humility. And for most people, that's the last word that comes to mind when they think of Cassius Clay. He was loud. He was proud. He called himself the greatest, even when he wasn't yet. But deep down, where it mattered, he would be very humble. It was at least part of him that he didn't let most people see. I could tell that it bothered him that his mother got only $4 a day for working dawn to dusk. Cassius made that much just from one bout on local TV. He told me that one morning when his mama was waiting for the bus on her way to her cleaning job, he walked up and stood next to her. "Where you think you're going?" she asked. "I'm going to work," said Cassius, "with you." She tried to shoo Cassius home, but he just stood there. When the bus came, they got on it together, moved to the back like always, and rode to a white neighborhood across town, a place where only black people were the ones carrying mops, buckets, and brooms. For that whole day, Cassius was on his hands and knees with his mother, polishing floors, cleaning toilets, wiping down furniture. When Miss Clay paused at the door before they left, she had to admit the house never looked better. Cassius put a big hand on her shoulder as they walked back to the bus. Not many people could make Cassius Clay feel humble, but his mother did, every day. Birthday. For my birthday, Rudy gave me the silver dollar Granddaddy Herman had given him for Christmas when we were little. Papa Cash and Mama Bird gave me Elite Everlast boxing gloves with cushions soft as a cloud and my name painted on them. And Lucky gave me a magazine that had a boxing story called 50 Grand by the writer named Ernest Hemingway, who I'd heard about in Miss Lauderdale's class. We read some of it, but I decided I didn't like it, because any white fellow who calls a black person by that name doesn't deserve to be read. beat. By the time I finally made it to Chicago for the 1958 National Golden Gloves Championships, I'd been fighting for almost 5 years, showed my talents on Tomorrow's Champion 7 times, and won more than 30 fights, 10 by knockout. But none of that mattered since Cash wasn't screaming my name ringside for the first time ever, because he'd gotten into a dust-up before I left and ended up with the cops on our doorsteps. I won the first 2 and lost the finals. Because you didn't keep your fist up and you didn't get out of the way. You let him hit you too much. Joe Martin told me after the fight, and he was probably right. But also because the few times that I had a little rally going, I couldn't get into a rhythm because it seemed like there was nobody in the whole arena singing my name. Cassius Clay versus Kent Green. February 26, 1958. The newspaper article said, the 16-year-old pugilist from Louisville with quick feet and a loud mouth showed promise in his first 2 fights, but got outboxed in the semifinals by older, more seasoned, hard-punching Kent Green, who targeted the younger Clay like a lion stalking a gazelle, then unloaded enough headshots for the ref to stop the fight in round 2 of the National Golden Glove semifinals. Cassius Clay, 18 wins, 5 losses. Lucky read the article to himself. Lucky read the article to himself on my front porch while I shadowboxed with Ronnie and skipped rope on the lawn. Me and Ronnie hadn't really hung out much since he and Teeny got serious, but she was visiting relatives in Nashville, so they were yapping and catching up when my mama told us to go pick up her order from Leonard's grocery store. We were walking home with beaucoup bags of food and stuff, which I didn't mind because I was working out the muscles in my arms, but they hated because Mama Bird bought the whole store, which was 12 blocks away. I'd rather starve, Gigi, Ronnie said, than carry all these heavy bags, when someone started screaming my name from behind us. Face off. The 3 of us turned around to see some suspicious-looking Smoketown fellas approaching us like they got something bad on their minds, leading their gang smack dab in the front of a meaner and taller-looking tall Bubba, whose face is still not back to normal. And right beside him is his new best friend, Corky Butler. Conversation with Courtney Butler. You been dodging me, Cassius? Fellas, Cassius been avoiding the undisputed champion of the streets, but time done caught up with him. What you want, Chalk? Corky? Ronnie says, wishing he hadn't. Well, I want is y'all off my block, but you here, and you know what that means. Pay the toll. This is not your block, Lucky answers, but he got fists to back it up. If I'm on it, it's my block. A quarter ahead, it's a 3 of you, so that's $1. 3 of us, Lucky says, it's 75 cents. Interest and taxes a quarter, fool. Pay me my 4 quarters. We don't have 4 quarters, I say. Then you gotta part with one of them bags. I'm not giving up my mama's groceries. Then I'm gonna lay you out like you got laid out at them Golden Gloves, he says, laughing. Hey, fellas, who got thumped real bad by Big Kent Green? They all started chanting, Cassius, Cassius, Cassius. Oh, I'm just messing. Can't fight you. We meeting some girls at the movies. I'll catch you another time. Give me 5 on that, he adds, laughing and then holding out his palm for me to slap it. I can't give you 5 'cause you full of jive. Sometimes my mouth moves faster than my mind. I'd give you 8, but your teeth ain't straight. This makes some of his gang giggle, but it's the next thing I say that has them all laughing out loud like hyenas, and brings me face to face with the rap of Chalky. I would give you 30, but your face too dirty. Can't give you 40 'cause you got a big lip, Clay, Corky says. Taking a swing that I dodge as a police car creeps by, eyeing us all. How about I make it a big fat one? How about you try, I say back. I should knock you out right here, but I want the whole world to see those fists upside your head. Name the day and the time, Corky. Me and you in the ring. Then let's do it. Let's do it. You're crazy if you get in the ring with him, Ronnie says, as we pick up the bags and turn to leave. Oh, Gigi. Yeah, Gigi. Who doesn't fight fair? Lucky chimes in. He's liable to have some rocks in his gloves. And I knew that they were both right, and for a quick second I was beginning to have second thoughts about boxing him until I heard Corky Butler yell from halfway down the block, "Hey, Cassius, is this yours?" Then launched towards me the purple Lucky rabbit foot keychain that Teeny had hooked on the spotlight clamp on the handlebars of my stolen, brand new red Schwinn bicycle. Cassius Clay versus Corky Butler, July 26, 1958. Corky was shorter than me, but I swear he looked like a giant earthquake that looked like if it boxed and planned on killing someone. I bounced on my side of the ring, shuffled my feet, smiled for the crowd, recited the Lord's Prayer, anything to hide my shaky knees and the fact that I was scared to death. Behind my corner was Cash bragging, Bird with her eyes closed like she did at most of my fights, my brother plus all my cats from the neighborhood, and some classmates standing ringside cheering me on. The bell rang, and I came out throwing jabs, quickly moving out of the way of his mile-a-minute sledgehammer punches, because if I just had one of them landed, I'd have been out for the count. In the second round, he must have swung 50 times but couldn't connect because he couldn't catch me because he started getting tired and a little slower. He chased me around the outdoor ring, and each time he got close enough, I just ducked, tagging him real good and kept moving. Then, out of nowhere, he quit. That's right, before the end of the second round of our showdown, Corky Butler, the baddest bully in Louisville, screamed, "This isn't fair!" and then ran out of the ring with a black eye and a bloodied ego. And that is round 8.